Being lied to is one of the worst experiences any of us go through. It's just devastating. So I wanted to talk about, really, there are kind of 5 main ways people lie. And I wanted to talk a little bit about them so you can help to keep yourself safe. And really, the 5 main ways people lie is 1, the typical, just direct, flat out lying. Then what I call the withholder, then the avoidant, the accuser, and then the gaslighter. So I'm going to go through all of them, plus stay till the end, because there's a way our brain works that you need to know about to help you navigate all of this. So obviously, I don't really need to say much about the direct liar. We all know it. The sky's blue and they say, nope, it's red, or they say they didn't eat the chocolate cake and their face is covered in cake. So we're all perfect. Those are easy to pick out. Now, the withholder is more difficult. What they tend to do is, like, there was someone I was in a relationship with, and they literally, their belief was that they never lied, that they'd never told a lie. Well, they were a withholder. And so the way that works is this. Like, I would ask her, I would say, so did you talk to, or did you see, wait, how did I say it? I said, did you talk to Susie today? Susie wasn't her friend's name, I'm just using it. But I said, so did you talk to Susie today? Nope. Well, then 2 or 3 days later, we're in a conversation. She starts telling me all this stuff about Susie. And I'm like, well, when did you have this conversation? Because you said just a couple of days ago you never talked. And she goes, oh, well, Susie and I went to lunch. And I'm like, what do you mean? You said you didn't talk to her. And she said, well, it's true. I didn't talk to her. I went to lunch with her. See, the way she did it was, unless you asked specifically what she did, she would say, no, I didn't do that. I didn't talk to Susie. I went to lunch with Susie. So literally, I had to start coming up with all the different possibilities to see. So if you ever pay attention to that, you'll get in an argument with somebody and they'll go, oh, well, I didn't see them. I talked to them. Or, so pay attention for somebody who withholds information. So when we don't share the full truth, that's a lie. Okay? Now, that's probably the most common way that people lie, is they tell you part of the story, but not the full story. So if I had asked her, did you talk and have lunch with Susie? She would have said yes. But since all I said was talk, she said, nope, didn't talk to her, because I didn't ask the question the right way. That's how a withholder works, okay? So pay attention to that. If you find somebody doing that to you and going, well, you asked me this, and this is actually what happened, okay? The next is the avoidant. This is the type that when you try and confront or get information, they go, I don't want to talk about it. They walk out of the room, they end the discussion. In other words, they don't really want to lie, but they avoid the conversation so that they don't have to lie, which in and of itself, depending, if this is a casual acquaintance, okay, it's fine to avoid. But if this is, somebody you're in a relationship with, avoiding it, that's a lack of intimacy, a lack of trust, a lack of connection. That's a massive red flag. So pay attention. Is your partner avoiding discussions, and so that they don't have to lie, which is an inadvertent way of lying? It's just like withholding. It's not participating in the relationship, okay? The next is the accuser. We've all had these. They're constantly accusing of us of cheating, of breaking some sort of rule, and they're the ones who are cheating. This is one of the most common. You find, I'll have clients and they're coming in and their spouse, they're constantly dealing with their spouse accusing them of something. And almost always, literally, if you have a partner who's accusing you of something, they're really exposing how they're doing exactly what they're accusing you of. So pay attention to, is somebody accusing you of something? All right. Now the final one is the gaslighter. And the gaslighter, when you bring up a topic, they will spin it around. They'll bring up the past. They'll bring up something you do imperfect. In other words, they're kind of like the avoider who doesn't want to talk about it, and they spin everything. How dare you ask me that question? That's that was my first wife. Everything would, she'd become the accuser, the avoider, and the gaslighter all in one. She did all four of those. She withheld, she accused, she avoided, and she gaslighted with all of it and would spin it around. By the next thing you know, I'm sitting there apologizing, going, wow, I'm so sorry that, I brought up how you did this thing that's so obvious that you did, and the next thing you know, you're spinning around and you feel like you're the one who's broken all the rules and gotten in trouble. Now, there's something to remember when it comes to lying, too. To have grace. I mean, what people don't realize is telling the truth is literally, it's our best assessment of what we're thinking and feeling in that moment, which may not actually be true, but it's where we are intellectually and emotionally. It's our truth in that moment. See, studies show that our memory changes constantly. Like, we think we remember things perfectly, exactly how they happen. It's not true. What happens is we age and we have new life experiences. We bring in those life experiences and they slowly start to color and alter our memories. I know that sounds crazy. And you're like, no, I remember this perfectly. I can see it, I can smell it, I can taste it. It's just not true. It's one of those things we're unaware of. And so that's why eyewitness testimony in most cases isn't valid at all. Now, we still use it as a prime way of proving truth, but the studies have shown eyewitness testimony is virtually worthless because of this coloring aspect that we do through our life experience. And we'll bring life experiences from our past into what happened and life experiences that happen after the event, and we will distort our memory of it. So try it. The point of giving you this information is have some grace too. Now, what I mean by that is most times your partner isn't trying to lie to you. They're just giving you the best guess of where their thoughts and feelings were in the moment that it happened. But now, as life has come along and colored that memory, it's a new assessment of where their thoughts and feelings are currently, 1 day, 1 year, 10 years later. They have a different recollection, a different view of their memory of what happened. Now, I'm not excusing or condoning, the avoidants, the withholders, the accusers, or the gaslighters. I'm talking about a relationship where you guys are getting along well and you notice something and it's out of character. It might just be a question of allowing some grace and recognizing you forget too. This is how all of our brains work. Nobody's immune from it. We will distort things, not on purpose. Nobody's out to get us. But because we've been hurt by the direct liar, the accuser, the withholder, the gaslighter, all of those liars before, we tend to jump to that conclusion. So try and remember that. If you're in a basically solid relationship and you're noticing a perfect imperfection in your partner, maybe just let it go. Have a little bit of grace. Give them a big hug and say, I appreciate that's the way you remember it. Thanks for sharing. I love you. And leave it at that. Okay? So I hope that helps you when if you're in a relationship right now and you're kind of guessing, where am I? Are they accusing you? That's a massive red flag. Are they withholding? And you have to ask the question perfectly. Are they a gaslighter? Do they turn it around and all of a sudden you feel like you have to defend yourself? Or are they the avoidant? If any of that's going on, chances are you're dealing with a liar. Okay? Hope that helps you. Have a great day.